for people that have really shown such incredible dedication in all of their studies, and we're talking many, many years of studies. In particular, I put down the dates of their graduation, and they began this study of professional practitioner 3 years ago. And through it all, they have stood really firm in their faith. We went through a huge, if you remember, our fundraising gala with over 200 people in it. That was huge, with virtual hospital system. And they were not in class, not because they were volunteering. Then we went through the pandemic, which was still going through, and that put a lot of things on hold also. But through it all, their faith was strong, and they persisted so beautifully, so beautifully. So right now, I'd like to call anyone that's a minister to stand up here with me. A lot of ministers are not here today, but if you are, please come forward and just stand behind me. If Rita, if you could stand right there, thank you. And Carolyn can stand right there, but they're sitting in the Okay. And I would like to call Reverend Barb, the president of our board, as you heard this morning, to come forth. A little tight, but social distancing, that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this incredible ceremony. I'm going to call up our brand new, you might have had a session with them. They were doing an internship of over 6 months where they gave out free sessions, which are hour-long service in their time of their incredible dedication. So I'd like to call up Karen Kane, Jeannie Glowacki, and fix them right here, Yvette Granger, and Dana Smith. If you could hold your applause till the very end as we do our ceremony. It is my pleasure to present to you Karen Kane, Jeannie Glowacki, Yvette Granger, and Dana Smith for licensing at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center as professional practitioners of religious science. To be admitted to the sacred ranks as licensed and certified practitioner of religious science is a spiritual rite of passage. The practitioner is trained in the art, science, and skill of spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, and spiritual counseling. The practitioner, through this ceremony, these new professional practitioners are making a statement of the dedication of their lives to the spiritual development, not only of themselves, but to all who may come in contact with them. Through licensing and credentialing, they will be authorized to practice professionally. They will be bound by high code of ethics to respect a client's confidence and dedicated to the cause of helping others. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Barb Jakubowski, the president of the Board of Trustees of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center.
As the president of the Board of Trustees of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, it is an honor to publicly declare the decision of the Board of Trustees to license Karen, Yvette, Jeannie, and Dana. Reverend Margaret, as the founder and senior minister of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, are you able to certify that these practitioner students have fulfilled all the requirements and religious science obligations to be a professional practitioner of religious science at our center?
They have.
Have they demonstrated knowledge of the New Thought religious science philosophy and demonstrated this knowledge in both their professional and personal lives?
They have.
Are you convinced of their worthiness to be licensed professional practitioners?
I am.
Karen, Yvette, Jeannie, and Dana, are you prepared to take the licensing and credential covenant from Reverend Margaret?
Okay.
I charge each of you, therefore, to teach, heal, love, and minister in your role as professional practitioners, and may the peace of God richly abide in your heart.
Karen, Jeannie, Yvette, and Dana. This licensing is to validate the fact that each of you has fulfilled the requirements of service at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center for the last 2.5 to 3 years. You each have fulfilled the standards and conditions of Emerson Theological Institute. You have promised to be active, loyal, and supportive of our spiritual community, Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. A practitioner certificate represents the completion of all necessary Science of Mind classes, practitioner classes, internships, written and oral exams. Are you therefore prepared to publicly pledge your devotion to your profession and commitment to the teaching, spiritual coaching, and other duties of the professional practitioner, including prayer support of our spiritual family at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center?
Yes.
Do you dedicate yourselves to respond to the needs of all those who call upon you, regardless of race, station, or condition?
Yes.
Do you believe that God is the principle, the one power, the one presence, and that God is the essence of love?
Yes.
Do you pledge to seek the kingdom of God, to stand alone if needed to uphold the light of truth that burns within your soul, to always align with spirit before taking any necessary actions?
Yes.
Yes.
Karen, Jeannie, Yvette, and Dana, I can now confer upon each of you your certificate as practitioners of religious science at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. You now receive authority to exercise this practitionership as your life's vocation, and it is my privilege to present to each of you this certificate of completion of religious science practitioner. Do you solemnly promise to fulfill this charge to the best of your ability?
Yes.
I do.
So I am pleased to welcome each of you to the honorable rank of credentialed professional practitioner. I'm going to, at this point, you would handle the roles. Do the certificates. Ah. 20 years in the making. You bet, another one. Many years of study. And last but not least, the beautiful, glorious Dana Smith.
Thank you.
get in line here for a picture. Go ahead. The 4 new professional practitioners at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. We are so blessed. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
We usually have a nice big party after this. When this whole thing is over, let me tell you, we are going to party at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. In 2 weeks, we have another incredible presentation. Our new ministers, who have spent about 8 to 9 years in studies, will be receiving their stoles. This has all been postponed until we could do this in person.